So, character generation. You should be able, if you zoom out, you should be able to see all 18 cards. Wait, that looks like 12 to me.
I see 12, yeah, I don't see 12.
Or are they all separate? They're all different decks, so that's okay, I think.
Yeah, I can only see 12 in the layer.
There's definitely more than one in each part. Oh no, there we go.
These just the 12 to, like, so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
you only deal out 12 during the character stuff.
Ah yes, that's right, there's 12. So each of you are going to pick 3 of those cards. And that's going to be your character. So what we can do is just pick any 3, put them in your hand, and then we'll go back to the other screen and we'll figure out who you're playing.
Sounds good. Do we just take turns picking cards, or
just grab any 3. They should all be nicely randomized.
Picking card. Oh, yep. Alright, here we go. Yep, I've got mine.
And the rest will be for you, Peter.
Yep.
Alright, so each player's drawn 3 cards, and that's going to determine the specialities that they have in this exciting heist. So I'm going to bring you back to the heist menu, heist page. I'm going to write our characters down. So, hopefully, we can make some cool texts. So, you've got 3 cards. They have a big ability in the middle, basically. And then there's some descriptive text to figure out what that covers. They're supposed to be broad, and they're supposed to use... They're tropes from the heist genre. So you have those 3 skills as your skills. So why don't we start with Peter, and you can tell us what your skills are. Whoops, hang on, let's see if I can...
I have contacts, martial arts, and machine.
Contacts? Oh, that's too big. Let's make that a bit smaller. Contacts, martial arts. That's still too big. And what was the third one?
Machines.
Machines. Okay, so... Oh, so tiny. Why is it so tiny? Now it's gone too tiny. I guess we can zoom in. So if you can put it on a piece of paper or something as well if you have. It's just important to remember what your abilities are. And I will write the rest of them up here as well. You can also, so you're someone who is good at martial arts. Well, you're a heist person, so you're an expert. You have tons of contacts, you're great at martial arts, and you're great at machines of some sort. Moving things, anything that has a blueprint or a circuit diagram. So you can come up with a character based on that. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than just those 3 stats. But you can think of a name, you can think of a background, and that's how all of us are doing it, basically. So I'll get you guys to all give me your stats, and then we'll go back and figure out who we're actually playing. So who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Yep.
I've got the long con, demo, and gunplay.
Demolitions and gunplay. Very cool.
No, this is cool. I like this guy already.
Nice. That's...
I'm just going to describe what I'm thinking about the character now.
Yeah, go for it. If you've got an idea, jump in.
It's obviously some sort of undercover agent who's been too long to can't get back in the panel.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So something ex-military or something?
Yeah, ex-military with private security. Like he's sort of gone too far.
Nice.
Turned dark. Turned rogue.
Excellent. Who's next?
I'll go.
Yep.
I got stealth, driving, and disguise.
Ooh. All right. And Ash?
I have drawn breaking and entering, gunplay, and forgery.
Oh, no, that's a mistake. You shouldn't have something that someone else has. That's it.
I was about to ask if there are like multiples of any card because yeah.
That's all right.
What's one card left on the screen?
I don't know if maybe we right clicked to take gunplay at the same time by accident.
That's all right. Yes, so you're all going to have, of course, being in a heist, you're going to have... The next card I drew off the deck was Coerce. So...
What should I do about this card, by the way?
That's okay. That's okay. Just remember that these are your stats, not gunplay. So because you're all on a heist, everyone's an expert at one thing, and not at others. I wonder if I can move that. Yes. Now, as I say, you don't have to come up with any sort of more character than that. But if you've got an idea of who you are, now we know that you guys have got together to heist someone's loved one from a foreign country. So the question is, whose loved one and which country? Let's make it somewhere in Europe. That's exciting. Someone with a difficult extradition process or something, or someone's been kidnapped.
We want it to be one of our loved ones, or have we been hired to get someone else's loved one?
The implication is it's one of yours, but up to you. Maybe someone wants to get their girlfriend out of the country. Maybe you're going to get Prince Harry out of the palace because Megan has hired you to go in. I'll try not to throw in too many ideas because I want this to be your guys' game, though. You can also. Sorry, go.
And we could just roll a d4 and see which one of the 4 players has the most points to do.
That's a great idea. Let's roll a d4. Where did it go? Where did it go?
So the chat was number 2.
D20.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, that's not bad. It's like you rolled 3.
Oh yes, I rolled a 3 and then I somehow rolled a d20. Yeah, so 3. So that's Sammy. Sammy, it's your loved one.
Okay.
And you can pick the country.
Let's go with. We get my father out of France.
Fantastic. Is it World War II or World War One? We don't like. The more modern is, the more the cards will apply because we've got hacking on here, so it's probably.
Yeah, get me all day.
Yep. That's all right. We know that something is holding your father. Okay, so why don't you start then, Sammy? So what happens is on a turn, you turn over the top card of the deck, and it will either be something you're good at, in which case you're going to describe. Well, if it's something somebody is good at, in which case they'll take over narration and describe how they have got the skills for the thing going on. And describe how they're approaching a situation based on the skill in question. Or it's something they don't have, and then they'll be doing the thing that you see in heist movies where they talk about, we can't do this because they've got, super infrared cameras or something. Okay? So Sammy, why don't you... So you're going to just draw the top card off the deck and put it down face up, I think, if that's doable. That's it.
So I should just be able to, yeah, and then we just flip it.
Alright, it's disguise. So,
That's me.
Yeah, good start.
so tell us how a disguise is going to be the first part of this plan.
So, my person is Cody Quinn,
Nice.
who was a specialist in sort of infiltration and exfiltration. So getting into, out of, and to places was his jam. But has previously worked with the other 3 in various ways. Was sort of more freelance, but had a good working relationship, but got mixed up with some wrong people, and they've kidnapped my father, Connor Quinn.
Excellent.
They're holding him in a chateau in the sort of French countryside. But the problem is to get there, like, these people are well connected, like they'll see us coming. So we need to be able to get not just into France, but out into the country without raising any flags for anyone we don't want to. So I have gone to a detailed effort to make sure that everybody has the correct appearance, so that we just seem to be tourists. How? Nothing that anyone would look twice at.
Excellent.
And the all four of us, I mean, so just look like we're
Getting a lot of background noise there.
Carry on.
Can somebody mute, maybe?
but yeah, so by just appearing to be a sort of tourist that like a lot of French people would just sort of like roll their eyes at, but not think twice about.
Excellent.
So we're able to get within striking distance of the chateau
Fantastic.
that way.
So we come in we basically start with you guys getting off a bus nearby, looking covered in backpacks and photographs and backpacks and cameras, and you just look all the world like American students on a bus trip. All right, draw the next card.
Long con.
So this is going to be Lucas's character, and this means, of course, that you've been placed already within the organization in some way or in some sort of deep cover.
So I'm placed in an organization that's Captain Connor Quinn, is that right?
Or something else that could be potentially be in our way. Like you could be in charge of immigration or something, or maybe you've already worked with Interpol to make sure that there are no interfering of forces or something. It's up to you. So it's the implication is that you've been previously inserted and have worked to develop a full cover inside something.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that I'm with the local law enforcement to get what is it, Rundown?
Yep.
Friends.
Yep.
Infiltrate with them. So that when us or tourists covered with lots of backpacks and cameras and things, move from place to place in this region, nobody checks us too closely because also being a gunplay and demolition expert, I'm carrying on a lot of toys.
Excellent.
But yeah, I've got made become friends. They know me. I know them well enough. Know who to ask, let persuade, but give us this passage to this chateau where Connor's being held.
Fantastic. Okay. Draw the next card.
So I'm going to see this card.
Yep. Okay. So nobody has gear, which means there's something that's stopping us from bringing all the equipment we might want. Anything large, anything grandiose, anything that requires an enormous amount of money or resources can't be brought to bear. So you keep narrating, Lucas, and tell us what we can't bring and why.
Alright, well, normally I have my trusty Zuka, I call her, and as good as I am, I cannot bring Betsy on this one, and it's very upsetting for me.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So, I still got my C4s, hopefully, but I don't have anything there.
All right. Draw the next card. Okay, so again, we don't have this skill, so why can't we? Do they have a great hacker? We obviously can't do something with computers, so what were we going to do, or what can't we do? Yep, still you until someone else's card comes up, or until what happens next, which is a twist.
Sounds good. Does this have to be a bad thing, like a really bad thing, like we're compromised? Or
No, we're not compromised yet. No, this is just the sort of... Now, normally we would hack into the security system, but we can't because this is that part of the heist.
I'm going to say that we through our long con and our disguise, we made our way to the image department. the chateau. But these people, they have their own private security force. So the local law enforcement is involved, so my law can't oversee them.
Yep.
And they have quite a sophisticated security system around the perimeter. We would need to hack it to try and get through, but we can't.
Alright, so this card is a twist, which means now we enter the second act. And that means now things are going badly for us. We don't look at that card, but from now on, if it's something that we don't have, then it is working directly against us and compromising us. If it's something that we do have, then we narrate how something's gone wrong and our powers aren't working. And that keeps going until the next twist. So same thing, it's still Lucas, but depending on what the card is, of course, so flip it over. Driving. Okay, so something's gone wrong with your driving, Sammy.
I think so this is how it doesn't work.
Yep. Or you just weren't quite good enough, or they've got a driver that's better than you, or you were going to ram raid the gates, but they've reinforced them.
Yeah, I think there was going to be a thing where to get into the chateau, they have like these sort of, because it's a well defended place, but they have these like couriers coming in, and so we were going to sort of highway rob, take out one of these drivers and which would allow us to sort of just come in that guise. But upon doing this, we've discovered that there's essentially multiple layers of like checks. We thought it was just like, get the car, go in, here's my ID. But there was more than that. So just being the driver wasn't going to help.
Yep. So you guys have perhaps got a fancy car specifically for this, but you're looking ahead and nobody can, they're checking things way more thoroughly than you thought. And as you said, you can't hack in and draw the next card. Signal. So again, this is something you guys don't have, so something is working against you. So signals means something on the radio broadcast or frequency across the comms, television. Something is being broadcast against, and you don't. So this is working actively against you now.
So I think when we overpowered one of these drivers, we took their car and then realised that this just wasn't going to work. But while we're doing that, suddenly their radio comes on, and there's an alert going out to not just the drivers, to all of the people involved in this whole organisation, alerting them that we've arrived. And basically describing us. So it's kind of the whole sort of, we were able to get there, but somehow they've worked out that we are here and who we are and what we're trying to do.
Damn.
They've alerted everyone.
Fantastic. Maybe there's a mole. Next card. All right. Why can't your machines work, Peter?
Which is just something as simple as the power and the frequency in France. those crazy Frenchmen there. And then metric system.
What were you planning on doing?
I was planning on sending a drone up to distract them and send them on a wild goose chase. But unfortunately, the data I had for where to fly was wrong. It was not complete, so I could drag this crap free.
All right, so we now have another twist, which means we move into Act 3. Whoops, wrong thing. Now things start going our way again. Still on with you, Peter. So we're back to how we were in the first act. If it's a card we do have, it's something that we succeed at. If it's not, we talk about how we can't use that technique. So you're gonna, yep. Contacts, that's you again. Ah, so
Thankfully, I do know the landowner of the chateau with that only hiring it. So, thanks to him pulling rank on them, he's able to get welcome us as his esteemed guest and argue as part of quite a bit of security.
very nice. All right, so an old friend gets you through the gates, but we have another twist, which means we're back. We're now in Act 4, so things are going badly for us again. Still you, Peter. Gunplay. That's you, Lucas.
Oh, so this is the gunplay goes bad.
Being not getting you forward, basically being compromised or blocked.
Alright, so what happened next?
You just managed to get through. You got through the gates because Peter actually knew the ancient landowner of this house who said, "These are my welcome guests," and led you through the gates.
You know what? I think as we come to the gates, maybe we forgot about the metal detector or something, and all the guns that we were carrying was picked up, and so the guards run through because they were alerted. They put on their guns faster than we can. There's a bit of a gunfight. I am blasting away as fast as I can, but there's just too many of them.
Nice, and you end up sort of holed up in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I guess am I the only one with back and shoot here? I think.
Other people can have guns, but you were brought along because of your incredible gun skill, and it's just not enough.
It's just there's too much. Yeah. So do I draw another card now?
Yep. Martial arts, that's you, Peter. So again, your martial arts aren't enough.
Well, we're pinned down, but they want to take us alive, so they send in the goons, but there are just too many of them for me to fight on.
Bam. All right. So do you end up captured?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. Next card.
Or what I need to do is we're down to the demo. Blow our way out of here.
Stealth. Sammy. Your stealth is not enough or is compromised.
So where we got caught, we've been we were dragged to some room, but we were able to get out, and we're trying to sneak through this chateau, and everything seems to be going really well. We've avoided the guards, we've gotten through, things look like they've turned around, and then we're going through, and we're making sure we're sticking to like dark areas and seemingly unused places, and then we're going through this relatively large room when suddenly all the lights come on with that sort of like that bang, sort of, and all the lights are up.
Nice.
And up on like a balcony, there's this guy who just starts slow clapping.
Evil. All right. But we now go into Act 5, so things are going to start to turn back towards us again. Draw the next card, Sammy. Fast talk. None of us have that. So that's something that we can't use to talk our way out of this. Still you, Sam.
So this is clearly the main person, and they're doing their whole sort of faux polite monologuing villain shtick, and it's feeling like we can use this to our advantage. We can keep them talking, distracted, while the martial artist gets in position, or someone can get a gun or something. But every time it looks like we're about to do something like that, it's made clear that they're not actually distracted. It's like, no. And the only reason they're talking is because they're enjoying themselves doing so. But they're still very much in control of the situation.
All right, next card. Can't believe it. Well. All right.
Okay, that's one of mine.
Yep.
I've already kind of broken it into, so I'm just trying to think like how we're gonna double break it into.
Maybe there's some other way out of this room.
So there's like a quick kind of look around that, like, it seems initially like we've been proper cornered, but my keen eye for ingress and egress spots that there is in fact a concealed passageway hidden behind a large and elaborate painting that will allow us to get out of the room if we are quick enough.
Secret
But of
door.
course, I'm an expert in this kind of thing. So while this person has trapped us and is monologuing about how they've caught us and will never escape, we are using the bright light is also casting long shadows, and we use those to our advantage to slip out of the room during the elaborate evil monologue.
Fantastic. And now he's like, where did they go? All right, next card.
So I draw the next card.
Yep.
Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, forgery.
And that's-
also mine.
That's the last card. So this is how we get away with it, just as planned.
Well, as luck would have it, our target, the loved one we are meant to extract, is in the secret the secret passageway that we found. They heard the commotion and started their own escape, but have met us in their attempt. They have not yet found their way out, and we've happened upon them. And I place into their hands the forged documents that I made earlier, that will give them a new identity, and so that they can escape like the authorities and get back to the person who has hired us.
No, it's Sammy's dad, so get back to the US.
Yes, I've forged them papers that will let them come with us safely without alerting the authorities that they've escaped.
Fantastic. So we then presumably see you all on a jet plane flying back to the US, toasting your success,
Yeah.
reunited. Fantastic work, everyone. And that's the end of the game. And
It's awesome.
I will now stop the recording.